So my name is Fabrizio Donno and I work in Pavilion Club Knightsbridge as a club manager.
What are some of the trends that come to your mind that you see expecting growth in that category, in spirits?
I think for the trend for 2023 as a cocktail, I see, I'm picking up from last year, I see a lot of savory cocktails and a lot of like spicy cocktails. In that sense, touching to spirits, I would say a lot of mezcal and tequila. But I believe probably not this year, but in a few years it will be a comeback of whiskeys.
What is one of the most, or one or two, I'm sure must be more, bizarre things that a customer has told you over the bar?
I think I was working in another members club and all of a sudden one member just looked at me and was like, "Oh, I'm having an after party, can you come and work in my house?" I was like, "Absolutely not." I was like, no, I can't just leave and come to your after party, your house. But working behind the bars, you hear so many bizarre things. Some of them quite embarrassing as well.
What's a good definition of a good bar to you, personally? I mean, how do you, rate a bar?
I think attention to details, especially working at members club, I think for me, for example, when we get one of our members in, and you remember what kind of tea or cocktails they want or they like, and you approach them with a kind of like, "Sir, would you like the same cocktail as yesterday? Would you like the same coffee?" Just remembering like a few things, which is like what they like, their names. I think it's already like a win-win. It's not, bartending in my opinion, it's not rocket science, but you need a lot of customer service to be there. And I believe customer service, attention to details, but I think that makes, that's what elevates your bar. Obviously, and then you obviously got cleanliness, you got obviously skills, bartending skills, or like serving skills. You pretty much need like a full package, in my opinion.
Define like 5 must-have things for a bartender.
So I think, in my opinion, I believe a bartender, when he has like a customer, or in my situation, a member, when you have somebody at the bar, you almost have a guarantee sales. Let's not forget that a soda water customer today could be a spectator customer tomorrow. So it's a really tricky one. So I think bartenders has to be always constantly in a show, let's say, and just approaching, acknowledging someone at the bar, approaching within 30 seconds, give it the menu. Even if you're busy, you can always "Good evening, sir." You can have the menu, so you're already buying time, and you actually acknowledging the member or the guest, at your bar. So I think like you need pretty much from your customer service, your serving skills, but also your sales skills are quite important. Because, as I say, just asking a few questions on your customer member, you can figure out what they like, what kind of spirit they would like, what kind of cocktail they're looking for. It doesn't really, as I say, it's not rocket science what we do, but
what are the those 2-3 questions that you ask to find out what drink is going to be suitable for them?
Usually when I have member, or usually when I approach guests as well, you just ask like a few questions, like what's your favorite spirit? Do you prefer something like sour, sweet, or something a little bit more, goes on the floral side? And then like breaking down with few questions, you can already like suggest one of your cocktails. Obviously, you have to be comfortable making that cocktail. You won't suggest something that you're not really comfortable to make. So you have to suggest something that you're really comfortable and what you're selling. As example, the other day, somebody came up to me and said, oh, I like rum, but at the same time, I like champagne. So now you take rum and you take champagne. So my mind went like, okay, I can make a lovely old Cuban. It's such a lovely old cocktail. It's a classic, and not a lot of like people remember this cocktail, but actually it's a great cocktail, you know. And then you have the hint of meat, the hint of sugar. The Angostura does a lot, and it just like, and the gentleman was really happy because I put together rum and I put together champagne.
What about buying new brands? You know, what do you look for when you're making a buying decision for your bar?
Obviously, as you know, we get approached by a lot of like brand ambassadors, a lot of new brands. I think first of all, depending obviously the bar that you work with, I think we're always looking for something like premium, something that is not everywhere. What is, for example, most of my question would be when I get approached by new brand is where I can find this product. Can I find it in the high street shops? Can I find it on, you know, do you have it here? Where are you stocking these products? So where are you? Are you just selling Europe? Are you everywhere in the world? You know, it's just a few questions, but I think premium quality for me is really, really important. Sustainability as well is very important. Obviously, sustainability for me is actually a great point, because we in Pavilion, we're trying to use like every single resource and not to waste pretty much anything. So it just like ask a few questions about the specific brand, the method, how they do, what they get the ingredients from, you know, but everything goes always to the premium of the product, the sustainability, and where they actually are as a product.
You know, when you're interviewing, are there any favorite 2 or 3 questions that you always ask, you know, for some behavioral skills that you would?
Well, interviews these days are getting really, really hard. I think hospitality is changing quite a lot and quite quickly. So we need to adapt, and we need to start to educate this new generation of hospitality workers. So what I'm looking for always is like attitude. Like if you have the right attitude, if you have like, you know, a great smile, if you can work as a team, and obviously that's what you're looking for firstly, in my opinion. And then obviously skills are required, but sometimes we forget that we can always provide training, you know, but you can't really train like a bad attitude or a bad behavior. I would say then attitude, a great smile, and appearances as well, and the way you speak, well spoken or not. So that's like the few points that I'm looking first of all, and then obviously I will ask a little bit of like skill questions, like, oh, how do you make this? What's your favorite cocktail? And so on and so. But I think first of all would be probably attitude.
3 places where you learn about bartending, you know, online, or like courses, or any universities, or any recommendations out there?
So yeah, as I mentioned, I think bartending as well with hospitality is changing quite quick. You know, from a month to another, a year to another, you got new methods, new techniques. So it, like, you need to be able to roll with time with bartending and to keep like upgrade yourself. But I think like all my experience, like working with great bartenders, not really like well-known bartenders, but you know, in London there are so many good bartenders, like in so many like areas and bars, which like I've learned a lot. You know, the good thing about hospitality is you can learn from anyone. So it doesn't matter who's working behind the bar, but you can also learn from your customers. And but I think my first experience in a members club called Trump was really great for me as a like working culture and how to work in a members club. And then I worked in Aqua Shard as well with Luca Missaglia was the bar manager by then, and we had a great team with Eddie Balan, and he was the assistant. And yeah, I think I've learned a lot from like my ex-colleagues. And I inspire myself. One of my favorite bartenders would be Luca Cinalli. But I have so many. But I think Luca as he's just full of style, and it just it's I think it's one of the best. Yeah, and I also use pretty much a course as well, which I've been doing it, but obviously, and then after COVID, I couldn't keep it up with that. It's a course you can do online or you can do face to face, and it's an Italian course. It's under the name of it's Drink Factory. It's called, and the main bartender or the main trainer will be I can't remember his name. Giovanni Ceccarelli. I think you should do it. It's a cocktail engineer, and I think it's a really good training and really good bartender. He thinks like as an engineering. He doesn't think like, oh yeah, put this together, or how can I? He thinks just beyond like the form. He thinks about like engineering. How can he engineer that? How can like come up with something different?